everyone. Hello, collective. Welcome to another message for this collective watching this video. This is going to be a very specific message, so if this resonates, stick around. And this message is very strongly about awareness, and awareness being the key. So you have been given a key. I can see in my mind's eye, this is a very beautiful, intricate key that you are holding in your hand, and then you decide to put it in your pocket. And this is a key that you would like to keep and that you would like to use, but you're not really sure how to use it and what is it for and what are the great things about you having that key. And so you end up putting it in your pocket. However, when you put it in your pocket, you realize that it's taking up a lot of space and it's actually kind of heavy. So whereas you have other keys that you have put in your pocket and forgotten about and never used before, now you have that really big, intricate, and heavy key in your pocket that you cannot ignore its existence. And now you've gotten to the point where you have to use it to open the door for which the key is for. And that key is awareness. Your higher awareness, your ability to connect to your higher self, to higher learning, to the ability of perceiving things beneath you and above you, not in a way where you are better or worse than the people and things and situations in which you are encountering in those levels of awareness, but you're almost like traveling in levels of awareness. So this is how the mental world is built. There's levels of awareness where you are able to open up a door and enter into a higher level of awareness. There is the base level of awareness, the one that is based at the root chakra, which is the level of awareness of survival mode, of being in the I want to get something, I want to achieve something, being always, very oriented towards having something, being something, doing something that can help you survive and help bring some sort of comfort around you. So this is the base level of awareness. And then there is a lot of other levels of awareness above that base. And you are now able to travel from that base level of awareness with that key all the way to higher levels of awareness. And what that perspective is really showing you is that there is a really big power in which level of awareness you are in, because you can instantaneously choose how to relate to others based on which level of awareness you want to meet them in. So say you have somebody in your life that you want to have a relationship with, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship. You can now understand that basing on which level of awareness you choose to enter that relationship in, that your relationship with that person is going to be completely and drastically different. So yes, you have this quality about you, this ability, this shift to imagine and to using your mental space, using your mind to direct your awareness, to give it access, to give your mind access to higher levels of awareness. Your mind is kind of like the driver in the car, meaning the car is your awareness. And so you're really directing your awareness using your mind's eye. And why is this important for you right now? It is important because you are in a world, you are encountering situations in your day-to-day where there may be some very tragic, some disappointing and sad days ahead, or maybe you're already experiencing some kind of negative emotion, some kind of friction, some kind of it almost feels like there is something tragic happening. There is something that you did not foresee, or that that's not very pleasant. It can be as simple as your favorite ice cream flavor is no longer being sold in that ice cream shop next to your house. It can be as simple as that, but there is this thing that I can clearly sense that is not to your pleasure. So you do not have pleasure in that thing happening. And your capacity to deal with that thing and to still relate in the most true and healthy way to the people around you really is going to depend on how you use the level of awareness and how you travel those realms of awareness. So your awareness is boundless, is beyond your circumstances, beyond your ego, beyond your emotions, beyond what could be possibly happening in your life right now. And that is the biggest power that you have right now, is to direct your actions and how you relate to other people with the higher awareness versus with all of those things, the emotions, the ego, the expectations, the things that you wish things were but they aren't. And that gives you a really huge amount of power. So you hold this sort of wisdom, this ability to travel between the realms of awareness. And what this possibility really helps you with is a sort of, you can see yourself mirrored in the relationships that others have with other people. So what I can really sense is that now you're observing two people having a relationship and understanding yourself through that observation of other people's relationship. And just as they are, just as you are doing so, they are also doing so. So other people are understanding themselves, the way that they relate to the world and to other people, through your relationship with other people. And so it's this really huge puzzle with pieces coming together and people achieving levels of awareness through you and you achieving them through people. And so what you're really being asked to do at this time and using this ability is to not make yourself and your capacity, your ability, the way that you can relate to people at this moment, to not diminish that. So if you can only, go to a friend's gathering and have a conversation with 2 to 3 people at most, versus other people that can actually hang out with 10, 20 people at once and still have great conversation, what you're being asked to do right now is to really keep your truth, stay in your truth, stay grounded in your truth, that you can simply speak to 2 or 3 people at once, and that's the most that you can do, and not to kind of stretch yourself to ways where you're not able to go. And that, because that is going to be mostly detrimental, and it's not going to be as inspiring as it's not going to teach people the same amount that would teach them if you were to be yourself, if you were to be true to yourself. And so yes, there is this higher level of awareness that is asking for you to see that. And because you're able to really see yourself in so many different situations and relating to people in so many different ways, you have a choice. Now you're no longer being directed by something, you are the one directing the scene. There is nothing outside of you that is dictating what you should do and how you should act, because now you're at the point where you're no longer concerned with, worried about, or engaged in things that are just meant to catch your attention. And to capture your attention is what I'm hearing, to capture your attention, to bring you to a point where your mind is enclosed in some sort of item, whether it is a activity that you're doing, a relationship, whether it is a show, a game that you play, any sort of activity that is really there to capture your attention, to make you be so focused on that thing that you cannot see outside of what is going on. There is no more things that can, or there is very few things that can now do that to you. Your mind is so free in traveling between levels of awareness that now you're no longer able to be stuck in a place. So all of those things that are really here to distract you from your true purpose, that are really here to distract you from your truth, those things can no longer capture you. Those things are no longer in the horizon. And what is in the horizon for you now, because all of those things have left, there's almost kind of this void space. There's this almost like emptiness, but it's not really empty. It's actually a very fertile ground. It's actually something that is very clearly there with the purpose, and that is another level of awareness that you are going to be traveling to. You've been able to travel from the root chakra all the way, I would say, until your throat chakra. So there is this flow of energy from your root through throat chakra centers, all of these different levels of awareness, and now you are at the precipice. There is a new level of awareness in the horizon. However, this level of awareness doesn't feel like the other ones, because before, picture this, you were in toxic relationships with people. For example, that's just an example. You were in toxic relationships with people. From the base level of awareness, you were engaged in those toxic relationships, and you were, there fighting with people, arguing back and forth, trying to explain yourself, all of the things that toxic relationships do to you. And then you rose level of awareness. You rose in the levels of awareness. You are now able to look at that toxic relationship and understand that it's a toxic relationship, what it does to you, all of the negative things like making you lose sleep, making you worry about the person, making you feel unworthy, like you are not really, worth the person staying in your life. Every time that they would like leave and then come back, you would feel, oh my god, this rush of emotions, but then they would leave again and you would be left very sad. All of those things that toxic relationships do to you. Whereas now you're going above all of that. Now you are at a level of awareness where you can relate to people in different ways. And the way that you are going to relate to people in different ways using this new level of awareness that is at the horizon is by giving to others what they need and then giving you what you need. So it's this mutual reciprocal relationship versus the relationship that is built on need, on pleasure, on always wanting the void to be filled, because you're no longer avoiding that void. And it's not something that you are very forcing on yourself. It's something that naturally comes at this point in your life, collective. It's something where you can sense the void and you have no desire whatsoever to fill it with anything. You just leave it be and observe it, and that's what's beautiful about this next chapter that you're going into. And yes, awareness is the key, and you have that key within you. Good luck, and I will see you on our next video.